What's happening, fellas? Today we're going to be talking about the Paradox Pokemon. All these guys. We know more about them now since Series 2 has been going on for a while, and the meta's developed. We had Orlando, we had the biggest regional ever, but yeah, we're going to be talking about these. And I think I'm going to go in order of how good they are. So I'm going to start in the sad tier, then go up to S. Now, all of these have a base stat total of either 570 or 590 if you're these two. So, they're all good. They're all good. Except for one. There's one I think is genuinely bad. Iron Thorns makes me sad, man. Iron Thorns makes me very sad. It's so cool, but what do it do? What do it do is the question. I think the set is like loaded dice, Terra, Grass, Rock Blast, Pin Missile, Sword Stance, Protect. I think that's it. But it's got the four times ground weakness. It's got basically T-Taz stats, but a tiny bit faster, but also less bulky. It doesn't get the special defense boost because it doesn't get Sandstream. It's just overall really sad, really unfortunate. If it got rid of the rock type instead of the dark type and turned like dark electric, that would have been good, but it didn't. It got the Alolan Golem typing. Iron Thorns just makes me sad. What else do you get? You get Blizzard, you could not do a special attack instead. You could go like Booster Energy, Dragon Dance. You get Earthquake. You get a bunch of fire moves. Your coverage is alright. You get Low Kick. Low Kick and Oko things like King Gambit, over Tyranitar. I guess Taunt. You could go Terra Flying, Terra Blast. You could pair it with another Tyranitar to get that special defense boost, but then you kind of get f***ed over by Earthquake. So, Iron Thorns, you just make me sad. You're very cool, you're a Mecha Godzilla, but you're very bad. In a meta without other Paradox Pokemon, maybe you'd have something, but there are other Paradox Pokemon here. So, next up, in D tier, Iron Treads. Right? Iron Treads. What does Iron Treads do? Almost every other Paradox Pokemon has done something cool, except for Iron Treads. Now, I'm assuming you run, like, an Assault Vest set. You run an Assault Vest set with, like, Terra Flying, you know, like, Earthquake, Heavy Slam, maybe? Or what Steel type moves do you get? You could go Iron Head, you could go Steel Roller. Steel Roller's an option. Terra Blast. You know, like Ice Spinner, Knockoff, Rock Slide. You get more stuff than Iron Thorns does. You're viable, but you're not very good. You could go Booster Energy, you could go, but specifically Booster Energy Speed, right? Because I'm 99% sure that this is outspeeding Booster Bundle and Booster Main inside of Tailwind. Outside of Tailwind, they're not, because they're also Booster, but, yeah, overall, you just don't do much. You have, like, I've seen someone do Endeavor shenanigans with you. So that's something. But yeah, Iron Treads, there's just not much to talk about. Next is going to be Slitherwing. Some would argue that Slitherwing is worse than Iron Treads, right? Personally, I don't think so. I've seen not booster energy, life orb, first impression, that's something. I've seen choice band first impression. I know Moxie boosted, he was running life orb, first impression, leech life, close combat, and flame charge with Terra Fire, I think it was. And then Jolly, I think it was 228. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 228 because that would outspeed regular bundle after a flame charge boost. The set that I like to run is Clear Amulet. These three, but instead of first impression, I go bulk up. The bulk up set, either behind screens, or if you want to be that guy, you could do it behind like Shed Tail. But behind screens, that's really good. Terrifire Flame Charge has the potential to Oko Amoongus sometimes. Oko's main, I'm pretty sure, it definitely does after a bulk up boost. Close Combat's good into Bundle. Leech Life's good into Roaring Moon specifically. Roaring Moon is really good against that. Other Dark types, it's good into Terra Grass, Iron Hands, the Terra Grass Scream Tail that's currently going on. Basically any Terra Grass, it plays well into that. You could pair it with something like Amoongus to either spore something or stop them from doing Terra Grass. It combos well with that. You could combo it with Brute Bonnet. You know, stop them from Terra Grass. If they Terra Grass, delete them. If they don't Terra Grass, out comes the Spore. So it does pretty well into some stuff, but all things considered, it's still a bug type, and the bug type, unfortunately, isn't very good. Not only that, but bug fighting type, so you're very weak to, Terra Flying, Acrobatics, Roaring Moon. There's Talonflame, you're very weak to Talonflame. Yeah, another reason I like bulk up is because your special defense is really good, but Assault Vest is an option, but your defense is kind of middling, so bulk up can help fix that. Again, unfortunate typing, Flutter Mane existing, makes so that you can't really go much higher. I think that concludes D tier. So next, we're going to be talking about Iron Valiant. Now, Iron Valiant is really good in singles, right? In doubles, you kind of don't know what you're doing. You have the stats to be a really good mixed attacker, and that's why it's really good in singles. But what you don't have is the bulk. You're Oko'd by Goldengo, 74, 90, 60. That's, for a Pokemon with a 590 base stat total, that's not very good. With booster energy, it's outspeeding a ton of stuff. I've seen Assault Vest with Spirit Break, Close Combat, Knockoff, and Shadow Sneak. This set topped a tournament, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember which one. I think it was Order Up Orlando. I'm pretty sure it was Order Up Orlando. Yeah, Order Up Orlando. It was paired with Mousehold Annihilate. Roaring Moon, Tailwind, Breaking Swipe, Roost, Snarl, the support of Roaring Moon. But yeah, Assault Vest, Terra Steel, Spirit Break, Knockoff, Brick Break, not Close Combat. So, it's fairly okay as a support Pokemon, but your special defense lets you down. Your attack is really good though. That's almost as high as Great Tusk. And I'm fairly certain it has the potential to Oko Bundle, Oko, Iron Hands if it doesn't Terra. It can most certainly Oko Main, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, some other stuff in the meta plays pretty well into Roaring Moon, because if it's Terra, unless it's Terra Flying, if it's something like Terra Steel, you can do Close Combat if it... Does it outspeed you? It outspeeds you. Never mind. But other than that, it's not the best in doubles. It's really good in singles, but you because of like the doubling of stuff and 2 targets, Iron Valiant just kind of suffers from that. Next is going to be Sandy Sharks. Sandy Sharks, I'll admit, I used to think it was not very good. I really like it. I really like Sandy Sharks. I wanted it to be good. And all things considered, it is still pretty good. Now, there are 2 things that Sandy Sharks does, right? You go Booster Energy or Life Orb. You go Thunderbolt. You go Earth Power. You go Protect. And then you either go Terra Grass, Terra Blast if you have Booster Energy, or you can go Volt Switch and go Life Orb instead. Now, the thing with Sandy Sharks is that it plays really well into the meta. It plays well into Dozo. It plays well into Iron Bundle. Iron Hands as well. It has the potential to Oko Hands. What else? I'm trying to think of other meta stuff. It just plays really well into a lot of the big stuff. Then there's this. You go the Gravity set. The Gravity set paired with Espathra. Because Espathra gets Hypnosis. Yeah, you go Sandy Sharks and Espathra, because you get the speed boost, and you sleep everything with Hypnosis. That's a guaranteed, like, 100% sleep. Coming off a base 105 speed stat with speed boost. If you look at Orlando Regionals, I'm fairly certain that this combo did top cut. Let me see. I'm pretty sure it did. Hang on. Yeah, it did, here. Number 2, Max Gelman. He used Sandy Sharks, Espathra, combined with these 3, and then Fluttermane. So it works, and it's really annoying to fight. But I think that's about all we need to talk about with Sandy Sharks. Oh wait, no, never mind. There's another thing it runs. I've seen this quite a bit. You go Assault Vest, and then Thunderbolt, Earth Power, Volt Switch, and Terra Blast. Now, you can go Terra Blast, but I've also seen this with Terra Fairy. This top cut a tournament in early Series 2. Before Series 2 even started, it top cut the tournament. Yeah, I think that's about it with Sandy Sharks. I think that might conclude it for B tier. For C tier. So, next, we're going to talk about... Where is it? There we go. Iron Jugulus. Now, I used to have Jugulus around here underneath Sandy Sharks, but recently, at Orlando, I don't think we have the results or like placings for the seniors division. But Iron Jugulus in the seniors division got 2nd. It was what was it? Yes. Booster Energy Special Attack with Terra Ground, Dark Pulse, Hurricane, Earth Power, Protect, and it was on a rain team with Pelipper, Palafin, Iron Hands, Amoongus, and a bulky Goldengo that was spec to live Specs Fluttermane Shadow Ball. And that's a Booster Energy going off a 122 special attack set. It plays pretty well into Bundle because it's got the Tailwind support. Plays really well into Hands. Does relatively well into Main if you Terra Ground. If you don't Terra Ground, you're kind of screwed. Yeah, it was the team was built by an Iron Jugulus believer, and it paid off. There's also it can also run support, right? It gets Snarl, does it get Icy Wind? It doesn't get Icy Wind. It gets Tailwind, it gets Air Slash. The Iron Jugulis has 2 sets. There's the support set, and there's the offensive range set. The offensive range set seems to be better. It's got results. Iron Jugulis has got results. It's proven to work. Now, the only thing is that while with Terra Ground it plays well into Iron Hands, but if you see an Iron Hands, you're kind of forced to Terra. That's the only problem. I'd say to take out Iron Hands, that's pretty worth it, especially on a rain team, because you're going to have a lot of Pokemon that are weak to Wild Charge or Thunder Punch coming from it. So, yeah, Iron Jugulis, I think it's better than people realized. Next is going to be Iron Moth. Now, there's only one thing that this does. You go Heat Wave Acid Spray, right? Heat Wave Acid Spray specifically combined with Flutter Mane. Because Acid Spray is lowering the special defense by 2 stages, and then setting up Flutter Mane for the kill. Acid Spray, plus not even Terra Fairy Dazzling Gleam, just a regular Dazzling Gleam. That's OHKOing opposite main. So as long as you win the speed tie, you're fine. The reason I would have Iron Moth higher, but the Iron Moth Flutter Mane thing, it kind of fell off. It gets outsped by Great Tusk and Tailwind, you know, the Great Tusk Talonflame thing, which is very unfortunate. It doesn't... I don't think it plays very well into Booster Bundle, because it can just Icy Wind, then you're being outsped. I don't think if you switch out, then you lose your opportunity for more Acid Spray stuff. There's also the 4 times weak to Ground. Now, a lot of people either go Terra Grass, or they go Terra Ghost to stop Fake Out. Yeah, I am off. I used to have you here, but as of right now, you're around here. It's very sad. Because Iron Moth is so cool. It's everything you'd expect a future Volcarona to be. But then, it just... A lot of recent developments in the meta stopped it from advancing as far as it did. There's Dondozo as well. Iron Moth Flutter Mane plays super well into Dondozo. Like, a Dazzling Gleam after an Acid Spray is doing, like, a good... What is it? Like, 70-something%. Because Dondozo's special defense is back to normal, and... Yikes. The Iron Moth has its use, but it has one use, and it's super predictable. And then, lastly, in B tier, I don't know how people are going to feel about this. Roaring Moon. Now, I am not saying that Roaring Moon is bad. I'm going to be honest, Roaring Moon, it's better than these two, but there's really only one thing it does. Yo, Terra Flying Acrobatics. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this is bad, right? Roaring Moon is really, really good. But booster energy for, like, Terra Flying Acrobatics, I just don't think it's the way anymore. You either Terra Flying Acrobatics and lose the bundle, or what I like to run is this Terra Steel Clear Amulet with Throat Shot and Iron Head. There you go, that 119 speed, 139 attack. It's bulky, 105, 101, 71. No matter your Terra type, you're losing to Iron Hands. Terra Steel Iron Head is OHKOing main, but then again, so is anything from Booster Energy, Terra Flying, or just anything Roaring Moon does. But Roaring Moon, I think, kind of fell off. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it's as good as a lot of people thought it was. There is the supportive set with Tailwind, Snarl, and Breaking Swipe, but I see that paired with Booster Energy, and I think that's just a waste of a Booster Energy. it can work if you don't have another mon that has a booster energy, but if you have like something like Iron Bundle, then you're kind of gonna want that. Roaring Moon's just unfortunate because it loses to like almost all of the top meta stuff. It can play well into Dozo. In Roaring Moon's case, I think it's closer to the Pokemons that are going to be in A than the ones that are in B, but I don't think it's good enough to be A just yet. So it's just sad because Roaring Moon was everywhere at the start, but then Intimidate came back because not many people were running King Gambit or Annihilate anymore, and people started running them again. But then Roaring Moon suffered because Arcanine saw a massive spike in usage, which is why I like to run Clear Amulet again. But yeah, that concludes B tier. Next is going to be Screamtail. Now, it's not a question of what can Screamtail do. It's a question of what can't Screamtail do. Hit things very hard, that's what it can't do. But you have Booster Energy Speed, right? Then you go either Terra Steel or Terra Grass. And then the amount of support moves this thing gets is insane. What do you get? It gets Encore, it gets Disable, it gets Dual Screens, it gets Wish, it gets Perish Song, it gets Trick Room, it gets Imprison, it gets... what other status moves do you get? Fake Tears, Helping Hand, Thunder Wave. There's so much stuff that can be done with Screamtail. You can go Psychic Fangs to destroy screens, and this thing is bulky, really bulky, and it's really fast. It's like the ultimate support Pokemon. And another thing to know about Screamtail is that, as you may know, it recently won Orlando, piloted by Wolfie. Used a Perish Trap team with Perish Song Screamtail, Perish Song Fluttermane, and Gothitelle, along with Palafin, Arcanine, and Amoonguss. So Screamtail's proved itself. Perish Trapping is really good into Dondozo. If Dondozo is paired with Tatsugiri, it doesn't hit Tatsugiri, which it just shows how powerful Tatsugiri simply is. Yeah, super bulky. Can do basically whatever you need to do, unless you need to set tail. Next is going to be Brute Bonnet. Now, Brute Bonnet, first of all, something that's funny is, 252, you're hitting 107, that's outspeeding Pult and Tailwind. But also, if you go, Timid, its stats are crafted in such a way that if you go max attack and minimum speed, you're just 1 point away from having a booster energy speed, so you can't have the immediate, like, Choice Scarf Spore. That would be insane. So what people do is that they run slow, but they run bulky. Yeah, they run really bulky. You know, I'm talking stuff like this. You know, less defense, more special defense. But what Bonnet does is that you could go booster energy attack with Seed Bomb, but you don't want that. What you do is you go Loaded Dice, and you go Bullet Seed. Then you go Sucker Punch, and then what you do is you Terra Poison, and you Rage Powder. A Rage Powder from this thing, Terra Poison, good defensive type. This thing ain't going down. 111, 99, 99. That's incredible bulk. Is it more than Screamtail? It's around the same as Screamtail. It's Screamtail, but it can actually hit things. Bullet Seed is really good for Dondozo. It's OHKOing main. It's OHKOing bundle. Spore is really good into Iron Hands. Sucker Punch is Sucker Punch. You know, it showed up quite a bit at Orlando. You know, 2nd place, we see a Brute Bonnet. 4th place, we see a Brute Bonnet. 9th place, we see a Brute Bonnet. 11th, we see a Brute Bonnet. You get the idea. A lot of people, at the start, they didn't think Brute Bonnet would be that good. Because they saw the Grass Dark type. Yeah, they saw the Grass Dark type, which has as many weaknesses as it does strengths. And it has a lot of weaknesses. But first of all, it's immune to Prankster Taunt, which is why a lot of Amoonguss were running Terra Dark. But Brute Bonnet doesn't need that. What Brute Bonnet does is that it gets out on the field, and it just becomes a big hindrance. But a hindrance not in an Amoonguss way, but a hindrance in, like, an Arcanine way, where it's bulky, it won't die, but it'll make sure you do die. That 127 attack. Yeah, Brute Bonnet, I think Brute Bonnet's super good. In the A tier for sure. And then, lastly in A tier, we're gonna have Great Tusk. Now, Great Tusk plus Talonflame, max speed, Jolly. Honestly, I think with this thing, you just go 252, 252, and you go either Life Orb, or you go Focus Sash. That's Focus Band. Or you go Focus Sash. Now, these two together, let me move you. Yeah, these two together is insane, because first of all, Talonflame is going to be immune to Earthquake, which is, so you basically can just Terra Ground, Earthquake, everything's dead. Like, there's a reason Great Tusk did so well at Orlando, you know. 3rd place, 5th place, 6th place, 12th, 13th, but almost all of them are paired with Talonflame for that exact reason. It's super strong. At the start of the meta, people thought it wasn't that good, because loses the bundle, because the typing loses the bundle, loses the main, gets what they thought it got walled by Terra Grass Hands, until, you know, Talonflame did Talonflame stuff. But there are ways to beat these two, like Bulky Trick Room. The one thing that outspeeds Great Tusk and Tailwind is a booster bundle. It doesn't like booster bundle all too much at all. Flying types, this thing doesn't like flying types. Because flying types are either immune or resist its 2 stabs. It doesn't like Terra Flying Roaring Moon. You go Earthquake, you go Headlong Rush, you go Close Combat, and you go Protect. Now, I plan on making a video on strong meta cores and how to beat them. So I'll go more in depth about that then. But for now, it's staying there. And that's gonna conclude A tier. So then, we're going to S. And first up, we're gonna go Iron Hands. Now, Iron Hands, I used to think Iron Hands was the best Pokemon in the meta, you know, I think everyone's seeing it right now. You go Assault Vest, you go Terra Grass, Drain Punch, Thunder Punch, or Wild Charge, depending on what you like, Fake Out, and then either Volt Switch, or Ice Punch, or Close Combat. Because 154, 108, and then 68 with an Assault Vest is insane. This thing is one of the horsemen of why are you still alive. But if you look at Orlando, right? You look at Orlando, first of all, there's a lot less Iron Hands, like, up here than you would expect. And, you know, this one's Assault Vest. Then you go down here, and there's a lot of Iron Hands. But this one, Citrus Berry, Belly Drum. This one is still Assault Vest. Clear Amulet, Terra Fire. Assault Vest. So, there's a pretty even spread of Assault Vest and Clear Amulet. A thing that I like to run is Safety Goggles, Terra Fire. Because then this thing can't be burnt, and it also can't be slept. And then what you do is you go Sword Stance, and you go either Fake Out or Protect, because you get Sword Stance with a base 140 attack. Once you get a Sword Stance off, there's almost nothing stopping that, and because of the HP, that special defense is still pretty good. So it's not being stopped by... it's potentially not being stopped by Bundle. Okoing main, obviously. Iron Hands does very well into Dozo. I don't think there's much more to say about Iron Hands that hasn't already been said. You know, it loses... oh, Jesus. It loses to Psy Spam. It loses to Indeedee Armor Rouge. It doesn't like Farigiraf. It doesn't like things like... funnily enough, Turkle. It doesn't like Gastrodon. That's a thing it doesn't like. Gastrodon's Earth Power. It doesn't like Sandy Sharks. What other meta stuff is there that it doesn't like? A lot of the time it doesn't like Arcanine. It doesn't like Great Tusk. It doesn't like Sylveon. It doesn't like Talonflame because it doesn't like being burnt. It doesn't like Fluttermane. Yeah, it doesn't like Psy Spam. It doesn't like Amoonguss, because Amoonguss resists both of its stabs, and then Amoonguss can just click the funny Rage Powder button, and that's why I like to run Safety Goggles. It doesn't like Dragonite all too much. It certainly doesn't appreciate things like Sableye with Prankster Will-O-Wisp. It doesn't like Gothitelle. It doesn't like Perish Trapping. That's the thing it doesn't like. It doesn't like Perish Trapping, because all the Perish Trapping ones either resist or are immune to Drain Punch, so then you're stuck with Thunder Punch or Wild Charge. But Iron Hands is also weak to all the Perish Trap stuff, and if you're running Fake Out, it gets outsped by a lot of the Fake Out things, especially Gothitelle. But besides it has its weaknesses, but its strengths most definitely outweigh them. It's just overall a really strong, really solid Pokemon. And then moving on, we're gonna have Iron Bundle. Iron Bundle, it does an Iron Bundle thing. You go either Booster Energy or you go Focus Sash. Because Booster Energy Iron Bundle, that's the thing in the history of the game. You know, it's outspeeding Alecki. It's outspeeding Booster Main by 1 point. There's nothing that outspeeds this. And you go Icy Wind. It's the second coming of Alecki, pretty much. Then you go Freeze Dry, and then you're forced to go Hydro Pump. Because this thing, does it get Surf? Doesn't get Surf. Well, what else could you have? Basically, it doesn't get Muddy Water. It doesn't get any other water-type moves. You're stuck with Hydro Pump. Sucks. Because that 80% accuracy, not fun. It will always miss when you need it to hit, and then you just go Protect. That's present. And you just go Protect. That's what Iron Bundle does. It's a speed control monster. There's a reason it's as used as it is. You know, 3rd, 5th, 6th, 10th, 12th, 13th. Iron Bundle is everywhere. The only downside to it is that it's very specially frail with that 60 special defense and 56 HP. You know, it doesn't like main a lot of the time. It doesn't like Farigiraf. It doesn't like Goldango. Sylveon doesn't like sometimes, but the majority of the majority of stuff it does like. That's why it's as good as it is. Freeze Dry Hydro Pump, that's an unresisted stab. It's the stab combo. It's insane. And what you do is you go Terra Ghost. So you're immune to Fake Out, speed control, and then finally, gonna have Fluttermane. Now, Fluttermane is min-maxed to the high heavens. You can do two... in fact, no, you don't do two things. You do quite a lot of things. Obviously, Wolfie used it for Perish Trapping with Gothitelle. In Top Cut, Fluttermane is the most used Pokemon, so you can go Perish Trapping, but that's not the main thing it does. That's one of the things it does. It's not the main thing. You can go Focus Sash. You can go Life Orb, you can go Choice Specs, you can go Booster Energy. And what it does is you go Shadow Ball, Moonblast, Dazzling Gleam, and then either Power Gem or Mystical Fire if you're the Choice Spec set. Protect if you're anything else, and then instead of Dazzling Gleam, you go Perish Song with the Perish Trap set. I've seen substitute Calm Mind. It gets Energy Ball. I've seen Icy Wind. Because I've seen Taunt. Taunt's another big one. Because it stops other Perish trapping stuff. It stops Bozo from using substitute. It stops Screamtail dead in his tracks. You know, stops Bonnet and Amoonguss from sporing. It's one of the reasons why Mental Herb Amoonguss is a thing. When it stops Revival Blessing. It stops Spiky Shield. It stops Calm Mind from you. It stops Follow Me. It stops Trick Room and Wide Guard. Stops Trick Room, Follow Me. It's the fastest taunt in the game. Wait, I think it's... You get taunt. You do get taunt. It's the second fastest taunt in the game without being immune to Prankster. So, Fluttermane, really, really strong. I used to think it went like this. But then after Orlando and a lot of the recent stuff, I believe Fluttermane is better than these two by a very small margin, but still a margin nonetheless. You can go Terra Fairy. I've seen Terra Grass. You go Terra Grass on the Perish Song set. I've seen Terra Steel. There's Terra Fire. I've also seen Terra Normal to play well against opposing main. But let's see, what meta stuff does it do well into? Arcanine, Gothitelle, Screamtail, Iron Hands, Bonnet, Goldango, Roaring Moon, Great Tusk, Tyranitar, Dragonite, Pawmod. What else is there? Tatsugiri. It does well against Dondozo. Psyspam doesn't like it that much if you play it right. So Stone, not meta, but Stonejourner, I guess. Volcarona doesn't like it if it has Power Gem. Sableye. Annihilate certainly doesn't like it, but it also doesn't like Annihilate, so it kind of balances out. But you can see just how much meta stuff Fluttermane plays well into. It's the reason why we don't see Hydreigon anymore. We barely see Garchomp. What other dragon types are there? See, Baxcalibur usages went down. Garchomp, Hydreigon, Roaring Moon, Salamence. There's barely any, if there is any, Salamence usage in Top Cut. Fluttermane just plays super well into everything. It's immune to Perish trapping because, first of all, it can't be faked out by Gothitelle, but second of all, it can just switch out because ghost types are immune to trapping stuff. Yeah, I think I am pretty confident in this. If I would change anything, I would probably put Roaring Moon there. But Roaring Moon could probably go there. But I think that about does it for the tier list. Explanations. I don't know how good my explanations were, but I just went off the top of my head. Looked at results, looked at strengths and weaknesses. But overall, I'm pretty confident in this. Iron Thorn still makes me sad. Iron Jugulus is still B tier. Fluttermane's still the best. But I'm gonna go now. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.